Why limit myself? I deserve better options. That's what my girlfriend told her friend, while I paid for everything. Then she stole company files on my laptop to impress some other guy. Now she's broke, unemployed, publicly humiliated, and erased from my life. Hey Reddit! Thought I had the perfect girlfriend, future plans, the whole deal. Turns out she was busy keeping her options open and using me as her personal bank. Before it all blew up, let me start from the beginning. I'm Ronan Blackwell, 31, senior risk analyst for a big investment firm. Boring job to most people, but I like it. Numbers don't lie. People do. That's why I pay attention when things don't add up. Anyway, this started 8 months ago at a friend's housewarming party. My buddy Derek had just moved into a bigger condo, invited everyone he knew. The kind of night where there's too much takeout, someone's bad playlist running on shuffle, and people standing in the kitchen, because that's where everyone always ends up. I met Celeste Marlowe there. She walked in late, heels clicking, big smile like she owned the place. Introduced herself as a brand strategist, which after some digging later, basically meant running Instagram campaigns for luxury brands and tagging hotels in exchange for free stays. She worked full-time at a boutique marketing agency and did influencer campaigns on the side. Hotel tags, comped stays, the usual. At the time, though, I just saw a confident, good-looking woman who knew how to talk to anyone. We ended up by the balcony with a couple other people, conversation bouncing around about travel and food spots. Celeste was funny, quick with jokes, but she also kept steering everything back to her trips, her clients, her stories. If someone else started talking, she'd cut in before they finished. I figured nerves. Maybe she was trying too hard to impress people she didn't know. Toward the end of the night, she asked what I did. When I told her, she said, "Oh, so you're the guy people call when they've messed up their money?" Close enough. She laughed like it was the punchline of the night. We swapped numbers before she left. First date was coffee, second was dinner. Both fine, but on the second one, she forgot her wallet. Apologized with this big smile, promised she'd get the next one. Third date, same thing. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I left my card in my tote bag at home. I covered it again. Not the end of the world. I do well enough, and it wasn't worth making a scene over $30. But it kept happening. Not every time, but enough that I noticed a pattern. She'd post pictures of the places we went, the food, the views from my apartment balcony. Never once mentioned I paid. Always treat yourself or best life captions like she was self-funded. Small thing, but I pay attention to patterns. Another thing, her phone was always face down. Not a crime, but weird when you realize you've never seen someone's lock screen in 3 months of dating. And she used the word collab, like it explained everything. Dinner with some photographer guy, meetings with brand partners, always dudes with slick hair in her stories. She said it was work. I didn't push it. I was watching, though. One night, my friend Leona Hayes, she's in PR, knows everyone, met us for drinks. After Celeste went to the restroom, Leona looked at me and said, "Just make sure you two are on the same page." I asked what she meant. "Nothing," she said. "She just likes options." That's all I'll say. It sat in my head after that. I didn't bring it up with Celeste. I don't like drama without facts. But I started noticing little things. She talked a lot about future plans, but they were always trips. Miami, Cabo, Aspen in winter, weekend in New York just to shop. I make good money, but I'm not a walking vacation fund. When I joked about saving for something real, like a down payment, she waved it off. We're young, we should enjoy life first. Maybe she was right. Or maybe she liked the idea of a lifestyle more than the work behind it. I couldn't tell yet. After the fourth forgot my wallet dinner, I made a personal rule. I'm not going to be the only adult in the room. If we're building something, fine, I'll invest in it. But I'm not just here to underwrite someone's Instagram feed. Couple months in, things seemed stable enough. We weren't fighting, but I felt like I was the only one actually planning anything real. She was always chasing the next fun thing. I started scaling back without saying much. Fewer dinners out, more nights in. Seeing if she'd step up. She didn't. Then one Thursday afternoon, I got a calendar invite from her. Title, Celebration Dinner. 3 exclamation points. Location, some fancy fusion place downtown that people post on TikTok for the aesthetic. Time, Friday, 7:30 p.m. No explanation in the notes, just big news to celebrate. I accepted it. Figured maybe she landed a new client or hit some career milestone. Either way, I wasn't expecting much beyond overpriced appetizers and her posting the bathroom mirror on her story like everyone does there. What I didn't know then was that dinner was about to answer a lot of questions I hadn't even asked out loud yet. Friday night, I got to the Fusion place 5 minutes early. It's one of those restaurants with mood lighting and weird plants hanging from the ceiling, designed for people to post pictures instead of actually eating. Celeste picked it. Of course she did. She was already inside with her friend Maya, both dressed like they were attending some red carpet event. Sequins, heels, the whole thing. Celeste waved at me from the corner table like I was the help arriving with her luggage. "Babe," she said, "my bag's still in your car. Can you grab it? Thanks." "No, please." "Sure," I said. I headed back out. I parked close so it didn't take long. On my way back in, I had to pass their table. I wasn't planning to listen, but Celeste's voice carried. "Ugh, yeah, he actually thinks we're exclusive," she was saying, rolling her eyes like the idea was insulting. "But please, I'm not locking myself down. Why would I? He's nice. He pays for everything, but come on, I can do better. A girl should keep her options open." Maya laughed. "Girl, you're terrible." "He's right there." Celeste shrugged. "What's he gonna do? He worships me. And anyway, dinner's on him tonight." Again, I kept walking. No pause, no double take. Dropped her bag on the table like I didn't hear a thing. She looked up at me, wide smile plastered on like a performer. "Thanks, babe," she said, sugary sweet. I smiled back, sat down across from her. Maya kept glancing between us like she was waiting for an explosion. Wasn't gonna happen. The waiter came by. Celeste didn't even look at the menu. "We'll start with the truffle dumplings, the tuna tartare, and... oh, let's do the lobster tempura, too." He's paying. She jerked her thumb at me like I was her assistant. I added a steak for myself. Maya ordered something small, probably nervous. While we waited, Celeste scrolled through her phone, texting with one hand, smirking at the screen. Probably some other option messaging her. Every so often she giggled at something and flipped her hair like we weren't sitting right there. "So," Maya said after a long silence. "How's work, Ronan?" "Busy," I said. "Quarter-end reports, audits, the fun stuff." Celeste snorted without looking up. "He does spreadsheets all day. Thrilling, right?" I didn't reply. Maya gave me this awkward half smile like she wanted to apologize for her friend. The appetizers came. Celeste took pictures of everything before letting anyone eat. Hashtags ready to go, angles adjusted, like the restaurant lighting was personally hired for her feed. "Make sure my hand's in it," she told Maya, holding her champagne glass just so. We ate, or I did. Celeste picked at stuff while texting under the table. When the bill came, she did the usual fake search through her purse. "Oh no, I left my card in my other bag," she said, zero concern in her voice. "Shocking," I said. I took the bill before she even finished pretending. She leaned back smirking. "You're such a gentleman." I signed the check, left a good tip, stood up. "Keep your options open, Celeste," I said calmly. "You're gonna need them." Her smile froze for half a second. Then it was back on, all bright and fake. "What's that supposed to mean?" she asked, half laughing. "Exactly what it sounds like," I said. On the way out, she looped her arm through mine like nothing happened. "Thanks for dinner, babe." "You're the best," she said loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Ride home was small talk about the food, the lighting, the playlist she wanted to steal for her next content day. She posted a story in the car tagging the restaurant, cropping me out completely. As usual, I dropped her off. She kissed my cheek like everything was fine, said, "Don't work too late, okay?" Then walked inside without looking back. I drove home, unlocked my apartment, opened my laptop, and made a new note. Under it, I started a list. Joint account shared passwords. Subscriptions, calendar invites. I stared at it for a minute, then added a line at the top. Stop paying for someone else's spotlight. I made checkboxes next to each item. Some were getting checked off by morning. I started with the big one, the joint account, checking. We'd opened it months ago when she pitched building a future together. Every meaningful deposit in there came from me. She tossed in a couple of $50 transfers early and yanked them back the same week for emergencies. I called the bank. I froze the joint account and asked the bank to require in-person authorization for any large transfer. Next was the Netflix account. She'd changed the profile icon to a selfie of herself, like she owned the thing. Gone. Deleted the profile. Changed the password. Turned on two-factor. Same for Spotify. Then Hulu. Then the gym membership where she was riding on my family plan. The smartwatch line I'd added to my cell plan because she said hers was lagging. Got shut off too. One by one, every single thing with her name on it vanished. I checked Instagram after. Her story from the restaurant was still up. A boomerang of champagne glasses clinking, captioned "Grind never stops" with sparkle emojis. No mention of me, obviously. The comments were all "Yas, queen," and "You deserve it, babe." Yeah. Before going to bed, I remembered something. A month ago, she borrowed my MacBook. It's on our company's BYOD program, so my work folders sync through managed OneDrive. I logged into the OneDrive audit trail and pulled activity for that night. In a 40-minute stretch, 17 internal files were opened and copied from my account. I flagged it and noted to ask IT for a device health check in the morning. I closed the laptop, made a note to check deeper later, and went to bed. Morning started with 2 missed calls from Celeste. Then a text. "Babe, my card got declined? At Starbucks? Can you fix it?" She was using a debit card tied to the joint checking, so with the freeze in place, point-of-sale charges would fail. I replied, "Check your email. Bank needed a review." 5 minutes later, "What review? Why would they do that?" 10 minutes. "Why are you doing this to me?" I sent one message back. "Because I listen now." She blew up my phone after that. Paragraph texts about how she couldn't believe I'd embarrass her like this, how she had bills coming out, how I was being dramatic over nothing. I didn't reply. I had work in an hour. While my coffee brewed, I pulled up her shared Google Calendar where she'd sent me invites for all the things she wanted me to pay for. Weekend in Palm Springs. Her cousin's wedding in 2 months. Some concert she'd begged for VIP tickets to because it's an experience, not a cost. Click. Removed myself from each one. She'd get the notifications. Another text came through. "Did you seriously just cancel Palm Springs?" No reply from me. By lunch, the transaction history from the bank hit my inbox. Line after line of deposits from my paycheck. 2 tiny transfers from her, followed by withdrawals a day later. The balance sitting there wasn't a gift. It was mine. More texts. "Can we talk? I don't understand why you're acting like this. You're ruining everything over some joke with Maya? Unfreeze the account now." I muted the thread. I don't argue through walls of text. Around 3, I got a LinkedIn DM from a buddy at another firm. Derek, the same one from the housewarming. "Got a question. You free?" I sent him my number. A minute later, he called. "Hey man," Derek said, voice low like he didn't want anyone overhearing. "This is gonna sound weird. You still dating a Celeste Marlowe?" "Not sure dating is the word," I said. "Why?" "She's been talking to some execs here. Sent one of them a proposal with, I don't know, data that looks familiar. Like too familiar." I stepped out of the office hallway. "What kind of data? Client performance metrics? Stuff that isn't public?" My boss asked me to check where it came from. "I saw your name on some of the file paths." I didn't say anything for a second. Pieces started lining up in my head. The borrowed laptop, the audit trail, the timing. "Forward me what you've got," I said finally. "Already did," Derek said. "Check your email. Thought you should see it before it gets bigger." I thanked him, went back to my desk, and opened my inbox. I read Derek's email twice before opening the attachments. First screenshot, a LinkedIn message thread between Celeste Marlowe and Damian Cross, head of business development at Derek's firm. Damian asking about her ideas for client growth. Celeste replying with some flirty line about loving ambitious men, before attaching a PDF. Second screenshot, Damian thanking her for the insights. Third one, him asking if she's free to grab drinks and go over the rest in person. The file name in the attachment? Q4. Client retention metrics. Internal use only. I leaned back in my chair. That was my file. My folder name. Same version I built last quarter. The one that lived on my drive until the night she borrowed my laptop. Derek had highlighted the timestamps in yellow. The file Celeste sent matched the one from my drive within an hour of her using my laptop. I didn't reply to Derek yet. Instead, I opened my own cloud access logs. I'm the kind of guy who keeps everything synced and backed up. Comes with the job. Pulled the report for the date she borrowed it. She hadn't even been subtle. I exported the OneDrive audit for that date and dropped it into a clean folder. The timestamps matched the file she sent Damian within the hour she had my MacBook. When I asked IT to review the device record, they confirmed sustained file access in that window, consistent with a bulk copy. Not subtle. Created a text file inside that folder. For Janet Sterling, plus legal, plus IT. Simple title. While I was working, my phone buzzed. Instagram notification. Celeste had posted a story. "Some men can't handle a strong, independent woman. They feel threatened when you don't need them for everything." The picture was her holding a latte like she was posing for a magazine cover. Comments underneath were the usual. "Preach queen. Men are so fragile, lol. Cut 'em off, girl." I just screenshotted the story and dragged it into the folder too. 5 minutes later, another story popped up. A video this time. She was fake laughing with Maya about guys who think paying for dinner means owning you. Maya didn't look like she agreed, but she laughed anyway. I sent one text to Leona. You were right. She replied almost immediately. What happened? She's been sending my company's data to another firm. Got proof. Leona wrote back, handle it the right way. Don't feed it online. Just facts, no reactions. That was why I liked Leona. Straightforward. No drama. I went back to the LinkedIn screenshots. The messages between Celeste and Damien were full of smiley faces and winky emojis. She told him she had access to some great insights through her boyfriend, but he doesn't understand the bigger picture. Another message had her saying she wanted to prove her value to serious people, not just talkers. Damien replied with a calendar link for drinks the next night. The timestamps lined up exactly with the night she borrowed my laptop. I opened the rest of the access logs. She hadn't just taken one or two things. She'd grabbed entire folders, client analytics, campaign reports, internal forecasts, stuff I wouldn't even send outside my team without approval. 17 files, all copied within 40 minutes. I checked my email outbox just to be sure. I never sent those files to her, never shared the folders. The only access she had was physical, the night she claimed her MacBook battery died, opened my work calendar, booked a meeting with Janet Sterling, my boss, added legal and IT to the invite. Subject line, potential data issue, need 20 minutes. Shared a secure OneDrive link to the evidence folder in the invite. View only, audit logging on. Set it for tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Closed my laptop. Phone buzzed one more time. Text from Celeste. Are you seriously ignoring me now? Wow. Childish much? I didn't reply. Meeting was set. The next morning, 9 a.m. sharp, I walked into the small conference room at work with my laptop under my arm. Janet was already there, along with Paul from legal and Arjun from IT. I didn't bother with small talk. I connected my laptop to the screen and opened the folder. This is everything, I said. Timeline starts the night Celeste Marlowe borrowed my laptop, ends with her pitching our client data to a competing firm's head of BD, Damien Cross. I walked them through the OneDrive audit, showing 17 files accessed and copied during that window, and the LinkedIn DMs, where she attached our internal Q4 client retention metrics. Janet kept her face neutral, but Paul from legal was taking notes fast. Is this the complete set? He asked. Yes, I said. Pulled straight from access logs. Derek at the other firm flagged it when his boss saw internal metrics they knew weren't public. Janet finally spoke. You've stayed quiet about this online. Completely, I said. She's posting about me. I'm not posting about her. I'm not interested in arguments on Instagram. Good, Janet said. She looked at Paul. Next steps? Paul closed his notebook. We notify her employer immediately. Lock down any shared accounts or credentials on our side. Preserve all evidence. And Ronan, don't engage with her directly about this anymore. No texts, no calls, nothing off record. Not a problem, I said. Meeting ended in 20 minutes. Clean. Professional. Exactly how I like things. Back at my desk, my phone started buzzing again. Celeste, of course. You froze the account like some control freak. That's our money. Our money? She hadn't put in a dime after month 1. I ignored it. My landlord tried running my rent payment and it bounced. Do you get how embarrassing that is? I didn't reply. Her auto-pays were pulling from the joint checking, and with the freeze in place, those charges started failing. I'm serious, Ronan. Fix this now or I swear you'll regret it. The bank records spoke for themselves. 2 tiny deposits from her, followed by bigger withdrawals the same week. Everything else came from my salary. Around 6 that evening, I was heading back to my apartment building. It's one of those downtown places with a front desk and security, since random people like to wander in sometimes. The lobby's all glass walls, fake plants, and a couple couches nobody sits on. Celeste was waiting right outside the doors, arms crossed, sunglasses on even though the sun was already down. The second she spotted me, she started. Oh, so you do still live here, she said loud enough for people on the sidewalk to turn their heads. Wasn't sure since you've been ghosting me like some coward. Not discussing this here, I said, keeping my voice low. We're talking right now, she snapped, stepping in front of me as I tried to swipe my key fob. You think you can just cut me off like I'm some random? After everything I've done for you? I looked at her. Everything you've done for me? Yes, she shouted. Supporting you, being there for you, putting up with your boring job and your cheap dates. I actually laughed. Cheap dates? Celeste, I paid for every single... Oh, here we go, she interrupted, throwing her hands up. The little accountant keeping score. Newsflash, Ronan. Relationships aren't transactions. You're right. I said calmly. They're supposed to be partnerships. Not one person funding the other's Instagram feed. Her voice went up another notch. You froze the account like some petty ex. You're ruining my life over nothing. I'm calm, I said, swiping into the building, because the truth doesn't need to yell. Oh my God, you sound insane, she said, following me inside. People in the lobby turned to look. You're so cold, like a robot. You don't even care what this is doing to me. I don't control your choices, I said, keeping my tone even. I'm just not paying for them. You think you can just walk away from me? She said, voice echoing now. After everything I put into us? Talk to the bank about the account, I said. She stepped closer. Unfreeze it right now or I swear. That's accurate, I said. I'm cold. Because this conversation doesn't change facts. Unbelievable, she shouted. You'll regret this when people find out how you really are. That's when the security guard at the front desk walked over. Older guy, calm voice. Is everything all right here? Everything's fine, I told him. She was just leaving. Celeste glared at me like she wanted to throw something, then spun on her heel and stormed out, still muttering about how I'd regret this and how I was nothing without her. I rode the elevator up without a word. Inside my apartment, I opened the building app, changed my access code, and dug out the spare key fob she still had from my drawer. Dropped it into a sealed envelope. For the eventual handoff. Done. The next 3 weeks moved fast. Her agency called mine within 2 days of the HR meeting. Our legal team sent over everything. Logs, screenshots, the whole package. They didn't argue. Just said they were launching an internal investigation immediately. By the end of the week, the rival firm backed off too. Derek texted me that Damien stopped replying to her LinkedIn messages completely. Word must have spread fast because by Monday, she was blocked on their internal email system. Meanwhile, Celeste went nuclear on social media. She posted a long video, makeup perfect, fake tears on cue, told her followers I'd abandoned her, frozen our money, left her unable to pay bills. She called me controlling, manipulative, said I was punishing her for being too independent. The comments lit up. Girl, you deserve better. Men are trash. He sounds insecure. But then someone commented, didn't you get fired for leaking data though? That comment got deleted fast. Then 3 more popped up saying the same thing. She started blocking people. When that didn't work, she turned comments off completely. Second week in, I got the official update from HR. The marketing agency where she worked had finished their investigation. They confirmed she pulled data off my laptop and tried to pitch it to the rival firm, violating her NDA and their code of conduct. She signed a separation agreement. She wouldn't use or share any of the stolen data. A 2-year non-solicit covering our client list. Termination effective immediately. No lawsuit, no police, no headlines. Both companies wanted it buried, not broadcasted. But in our industry, people talk. Quietly. And that kind of reputation doesn't wash off easy. A few days later, the bank appointment finally happened. We had to meet in person to close the joint account since both signatures were required. She showed up in oversized sunglasses, like she was hiding from paparazzi. Sat 2 chairs away from me in the bank office, arms crossed, fake nails tapping the table. The manager pulled up the transaction history on the big screen. Here's the full record, he said, scrolling slowly. Deposits, withdrawals, dates, amounts. Every paycheck deposit, mine. 2 small transfers from her early on, $50 each, followed by withdrawals for $200 plus the same week. The manager raised his eyebrows but didn't say anything, just handed us the release form. Celeste tried one last shot. I'm entitled to half, she said. The manager turned the screen toward her. Based on the records, ma'am, this account was funded almost entirely by Mr. Blackwell. She stared at the screen, lips tight. Sign the form, Celeste, I said. We both signed the closure form. The remaining $8,734.62 moved into my personal account per the closure paperwork. Done. Back at work, Janet stopped by my desk one afternoon. Ronan, she said, leadership wanted me to tell you they appreciate how professionally you handled this. No drama, no noise, just the facts. Thanks, I said. We're moving you onto the Greenwell account next quarter, she added. It's a bigger client. More visibility. Not a parade, but in our world, that was a promotion without the title change. I'll take it. With everything closing out, my life started feeling lighter. I was sleeping better. Going to the gym without skipping 3 days in a row. Apartment stayed clean. No random drama blowing up my phone at midnight. I stopped checking her socials. People sent me screenshots sometimes, but I didn't look. Whatever story she was spinning wasn't my problem anymore. One afternoon, Leona texted me, coffee? Actual coffee. Not the metaphorical kind. We met at a little cafe near my office. Sat by the window, 2 lattes between us. We talked about work, travel plans, her latest PR client nightmare. Halfway through, the door slammed open. Celeste. She spotted us instantly and marched over like she owned the place. "Oh, this is what you're doing?" she said, voice carrying. "Having cute little coffee dates while I'm out here dealing with the mess you made?" Leona blinked. "Hi to you too," she said dryly. Celeste ignored her. "You think you're some big man now? Freezing accounts, getting me fired, ruining my reputation." "Celeste," I said calmly, "you did that yourself." She glared at me, hands on her hips. "Wow. No remorse. Typical. And now what? Replacing me already?" She waved a hand at Leona. Leona raised an eyebrow. "You mean sitting here drinking coffee like adults?" Celeste laughed sharply. "Pathetic. Both of you." I sipped my latte. "We're done here, Celeste. Leave." She muttered something under her breath, spun around and stalked out, making sure everyone saw her storm off like she was the victim. Leona looked at me. "Does she always make an exit like that?" "Every time," I said. We finished our coffee in peace. Later that night, I got an email from Celeste. Long subject line. "Can we please talk like adults?" She wrote about pressure at work, money problems, how she never meant for things to go that far, how she was just trying to get ahead. I read the whole thing once, then archived it. No response. 1 month later, things felt completely different. No late-night phone calls, no drama notifications popping up every hour, no fake emergencies where I was supposed to swoop in with my wallet. I kept busy. Work on the Greenwell account was solid. Numbers lined up, deadlines got hit. Janet was happy. My boss even dropped by one afternoon and said leadership wanted me to join a client dinner next quarter. Not a huge deal to some people, but in our world, client dinners meant trust. They don't bring you in front of big money clients if they think you're a liability. With things settling down, I wanted to take a break before diving into the next round of projects. Not some big new chapter trip people post on Instagram with captions about growth. Just a real break. So one Saturday morning, I drove out to the coast. 2 hours, nothing but highway and podcasts. Parked near a hiking trail I used to go to years ago, back before everything turned into restaurants, brand collabs, and credit card points. Walked the whole trail. Quiet, no photos, no posting. Bought new shoes a week before with my own money from my own account and broke them in properly. It felt good doing something for myself without explaining it to anyone or funding someone else's aesthetic. On the way back into the city, I stopped for lunch at some roadside diner. Burger, fries, no phone on the table. Just food and a refill on coffee before heading back. When I got home, I opened my laptop and started cleaning Digital House. New passwords on everything. Bank accounts, streaming services, email, cloud drives, 2-factor authentication across the board. Netflix history was full of shows I'd never watched. Turns out Celeste gave the password to at least 3 people. All wiped. New profiles, new credentials, only mine this time. Felt like resetting a cluttered hard drive. Monday rolled around. After work, a couple friends texted about grabbing dinner. They picked the same fusion place where everything started with Celeste. I didn't care. It was food, not therapy. We got a table near the back. Different server this time. We ordered too much, laughed about work, random stuff. Nobody brought up Celeste until the very end. On the way out, the host stopped me near the door. Young guy, maybe college age. "Hey," he said. "You were here about a month ago, right? Left kinda quick?" "Yeah," I said carefully. "Why?" He grinned. "That night got interesting after you left. Your girlfriend's friend, the one with the curly hair, she tried to pay when the bill came. Card declined. Twice. The other girl's card declined too. Whole table sat there arguing about it until one of their boyfriends had to drive over and cover the check." "Really?" I said. He laughed. "Yeah, it turned into a scene. The bill was a few hundred, and they were arguing about splitting it." I just nodded. "Not my problem anymore." He laughed. "Didn't think so." Outside, my friends asked what that was about. I told them. We all shook our heads. Then we left it there because none of us cared enough to give it more energy. The following Friday, there was a small work event at a rooftop bar downtown. End of quarter thing. Drinks, food, people mingling. I almost didn't go, but Janet said the Greenwell clients might stop by, so I showed up. Halfway through, I was talking to one of the senior analysts when I saw her. Celeste. She wasn't invited. Someone later said she came with a former coworker who didn't know the whole story. She spotted me near the railing and came right over like she owned the place. "Wow," she said loud enough for people nearby to hear. "Must be nice living with no conscience." I turned slowly. Evening, Celeste. That's all you have to say? She snapped. You ruined my job, my reputation, my whole life, and you just stand there like some smug robot? Celeste, I said calmly, you got yourself fired. Actions have consequences. She laughed sharply. You think you're some big man now? Everyone here should know what you did. Everyone here already knows what you did, I said evenly. That's why your badge doesn't work anymore. Couple people nearby pretended not to listen, but absolutely were. Her face tightened. You always think you're the smartest guy in the room. No, I said. I just keep receipts. For a second, I thought she was going to throw her drink. Then she muttered something about me being pathetic and stormed off toward the elevators. Nobody stopped her. An hour later, the Greenwell clients actually showed up. Dinner got scheduled for next month. Work talk moved on like nothing happened because honestly, nothing about Celeste mattered to anyone there. Weekend came. Leona sent me a meme about meetings that should have been emails. I laughed for real this time. We texted a bit about grabbing lunch next week. No rush. If it turned into something, fine. If not, also fine. Sunday night, I sat on my balcony watching the city lights. Here's what I realized. I wasn't angry anymore. Not at Celeste, not at myself for ignoring red flags, none of it. I just felt done. There's a difference between carrying something and putting it down. I didn't post about it. Didn't tell some long story online. Didn't need to. Celeste faded out of the industry circles quick. Heard she tried applying to a few places out of state. HR calls for references probably killed those applications before they got past round one. Not my problem. What I learned was simple. If someone shows you they don't respect you, believe them the first time. And if you need to cut someone off, do it clean. No yelling, no scenes. Just lock the doors, change the passwords, close the accounts, and keep moving forward. That's what I did. And for the first time in a long time, life felt quiet in a good way. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.